What the fuck is good, bitches? This is Vader 1 and this is Vader 2, and I am the almighty MassaCreature. So, I acknowledge that a great significant portion of my subscribers consists of Juggalos and Juggalettes, so I thought I'd give you guys an entirely Juggalo-related video. More specifically, I'm going to discuss with you guys my personal reasons for being a Juggalo. First of all, if there are any non-Juggalos watching this video, I have only one thing to say, and I'm only going to say it once to you. I am not forcing you to watch this video. Moving on. So, my fellow ninjas and ninjettes, you're probably wondering just how fucking long I've been down with the clown. I've actually only been down for a couple of years. I've been down since 2009. There are probably some juggalos watching this video right now who've been down for practically their entire lives. I cannot say the same. But better late than never, as I like to believe. The thing is, I've only liked music in general for merely a fraction of my life. It wasn't until 8th grade that I started developing an affinity for music. It's all thanks to Green Day and their album American Idiot. Without them, I wouldn't have a taste for music, and I wouldn't be the person I am today. So, before my musical awakening in 8th grade, I was just essentially a dude with barely any personality or sense of self. I was barely perceptive of the world around me and its happenings and idiosyncrasies. I just went to school, played video games, and I hung out with my friends. After I discovered Green Day in 8th grade, my music taste progressed to shit like Fall Out Boy, All-American Rejects, Hawthorne Heights, and shit like that. The summer before my freshman year in high school, I discovered Dragon Force, and my music taste incorporated a newly innovative genre of metal. It wasn't until my junior year that I discovered Twisted, thanks to the magic of YouTube. Now, before, I didn't have a taste for rap at all. I only had a taste for rock and metal, so Twisted essentially innovated rap into my music taste, and from them, I started listening to ICP, Eminem, etc. And I know there's some juggalos out there who are going to be like, oh my god, fucking traitor, listening to Eminem, he's not a real juggalo. You know what? I'm not going to be some pissed off little kid and begrudge Eminem just because there's a feud between him and ICP. That kind of contention is unquestionably trivial and infantile, and I don't have that pubescent mentality to hate someone, especially one of my favorite musical artists. So in any case, what's past is past, and you have to learn to fucking move on. So the first song I heard by Twisted was We Don't Die, as you could probably assume, and the song just inspired the fuck out of me. See, I always knew that I was different. I always knew that I was abnormal. I always saw myself as a walking contradiction to everything around me. I always saw myself as a social deviant. I always saw myself as a pariah. I always saw myself as a biohazard to society and the world. I heard those words, we undergo by accident, there's only so that few that can handle this, freak shit. And I immediately knew that in my heart this music was for me. All my life I always felt detached from my surroundings. I knew that I just didn't belong somehow. I was always quiet, reclusive, and alienated from the world even before I got into my music in 8th grade. I always perceived the eyes of the world staring me down no matter where I went. I always felt their judgment and their disdain and their condemnation. It was like some intrinsic subliminal essence in my nature that disturbed or sickened the world for not being able to appease their impossible, intangible expectations. I always felt like the bloodstain or the pile of vomit on the floor of society, and I never did anything to harm them. Their dissatisfaction was solely derived from how I appeared on the exterior. Perhaps the fact that I didn't talk much left society to assume that I was some kind of a serial killer, which only made me relate to We Don't Die even more, considering the lyrics, serial killers. Yeah, so I wasn't the most talkative or outgoing person in the world all throughout elementary, middle, and high school. I felt as if acceptance and respect were concepts extraordinarily rare in the eyes of my peers, and when I watched that Twisted video for We Don't Die, I felt as if I found that acceptance and respect. In the eyes of any typical soulless prick at the mall who doesn't know me, I'm nothing but a fucking freak. In the eyes of a juggalo who doesn't know me, I'm fucking family. Any random juggalo will come up to me on my YouTube channel and just say, much clown love, homie. You don't see any fucking random typical soulless prick at the mall coming up to you saying, much love, homie. In the eyes of mainstream society where everyone sucks on their Panera bread while they text with their new smartphones that they bought with money they didn't even have or money they didn't even make, if they see a juggalo walking past them with clown paint on his face or just shit like a black shirt and dreadlocks, he may be dismissed as a corrupted individual who needs to go to church. But if a juggalo sees another juggalo, it's much clown love, homie. I'm so proud to be different, man. I'm so proud to be an abnormal biohazardous freak to you guys. I'm so proud to be all those things that I put in my About Me section. Adversary, antagonist, biohazard, catalyst, demon, deviant, disease, draconian, exile, freak, fucker, galactic, heretic, iconoclast, individual, infidel, juggalo, cataclysmic, leviathan, martyr, master, minority, nemesis, nonconformist, outcast, outsider, overlord, pariah, phantasm, plague, quarantine, rebel, reject, reptilian, rogue, saurian, self-deity, stranger, toxicogenic, tyranno, ultra-geus, villain, virus, wraith, xenopath, your higher place, zendic. I'm so proud of not being the epitome of conventional. I'm so proud of not being the epitome of what's acceptable. If I have to listen to Justin Bieber, shop at American Eagle, and go to church against my will, and say LOL, even in my spoken conversations when I'm not even laughing at all, fuck that shit. I'm gonna wear what I want. I'm gonna wear black. I'm gonna get my clothes from fucking Europe. Like this Living Dead Souls trench. I'm not gonna wear anything that might be a social adhesive that just blends you in with society. I'm not going to worship anything I have no evidence for. I'm not going to say LOL. I'm going to say boner biting dick fuck face. I'm going to stick to my guns and light my own fucking path, and I'm proud that I can't appease every dim-witted bitch monkey who can't see past the screen of a smartphone. There are genuine, inventive, artistic, empathetic, compassionate, sensible people out there with their own perspectives, their own talents, their own ambitions, and their own willpowers who don't give a fuck if people don't think that they're conventional or acceptable, and who just think that they're ignorant, inbred, white trash freaks, and who care about other people other than themselves. And those people are juggalos. I couldn't be more thankful to have more family members that I could even count. Another remarkable thing that pertains to me being a juggalo is I have an unfathomable love for underground music. To this day, if someone ever asks me what bands I listen to, they have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. I'll be like Born of Osiris, Baal Maya, Circle of Contempt, Within the Ruins, After the Burial, Periphery, The Faceless, Oceano, Legion, Lorna Shore, The Contortionist, the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza, and they'll be like, huh? If I ever get a chance to see my favorite bands in concert, I'll most likely get a chance to meet them because they take time to walk around the venue, give autographs, and stand for pictures. How many people who listen to Justin Bieber ever get to meet him? I met so many of my favorite bands. It's impossible for me to ever hate my life because of it. I feel perpetually blessed with their splendor and majesty. And sadness is just virtually non-existent in my life because of that. Unless I started listening to, like, I don't know, the Titanic soundtrack or some shit, which is honestly, like, the saddest music I've ever, like, fucking heard. But to this day, you know, with all the acts on Psychopathic Records, all the fans that are just infinitely valuable to them, I just can't help but call myself a juggalo. It's just so beautiful being in this family. You know, Violent J says he wouldn't trade 10 juggalos for 100,000 mainstream fans, and I feel the same way. I wouldn't trade one juggalo for 1,000,000 mainstream friends. One juggalo is priceless. Absolutely priceless. If one juggalo was all I had, my life couldn't be more complete. And to think that I have more juggalo friends that I can even count, I can't even measure how lucky I am. I might as well try to count like every grain of sand in every desert on the face of the earth. I can't even describe my gratitude just to be surrounded by multitudinous people who got my back. It's fucking beautiful. And that's precisely what I realized after I heard We Don't Die by Twisted. They don't care about being rich. They don't care about being #1 on the Billboard charts. They don't care if they don't win Grammys. It's all about running with lunatics. It's everything that matters to me, too. I just admire the shit out of these values and messages that the psychopathic artists portray. They're like, we're not positive and uplifting. Fuck you. Everyone on Psychopathic is as unapologetic can get. They're going to swear, they're going to be obscene, they're going to talk about violence, they're going to talk about gore, they're going to talk about sex, they're going to be provocative, and they're going to grab your attention and just open the fuck out of your imagination. And they're not going to give a shit about how the self-righteous political literalists of the mainstream world see it. Stupid Mike. Move your ass. They may write songs about killing people. Take the song I'ma Kill You by ICP, but does that automatically mean they're literally serial killers? Their violent lyrics are teaching society to not take things so literally and avoid coming to drastic conclusions. You know, such as the people who write violent songs. Wow, they're unequivocally serial killers just because they write songs about being serial killers. Art is a form of expression. You have thoughts and feelings you like to express, and sometimes your thoughts and feelings are so fervent, intense, and overwhelming, you have to express them in violent ways. Whether it be violent pictures or violent lyrics. In I'ma Kill You by ICP, the lyrics pertain to severely beating the fuck out of a racist bigot or a child abuser. This doesn't suggest that Violent J and Shaggy are going to beat the shit out of racists or child abusers, but when you see people being racist, or you gain the knowledge that someone is abusing a child, you become indignant. You may become furious because you care so much about the innocent people that these bigots and child abusers come to victimize. Therefore, instead of actually going out and beating the shit out of these people, you resort to a passive method of alleviating your fury. You resort to finding clarity in a peaceful manner. You have violent fury wallowing in your gut, so you express them through violent images or violent imagery. We Juggalos are peaceful people, and we listen to violent music so we don't have to cause violence onto others. No matter how sick, insane, twisted, bizarre, demented, deranged, maniacal, or psychopathic their lyrics are, it's all for being creative, imaginative, and artistic. If any bad shit happens, such as Juggalos committing theft, arson, or murder, ICP might be blamed for that shit. When the fault always lies with the individual, it's not the artist's fault if fans go apeshit and start wreaking havoc. Shaggy was saying in an interview that his own musical influences would write songs about doing drive-bys, but he never did a fucking drive-by, because he took accountability of his own actions, but ICP is not afraid of being controversial with their lyrics. And my fucking goggles keep, slipping. Look at that, I got, a fucking V on my forehead. I'll put them, up here on the tip of my forehead. God, my hair's fucking curly as shit. So yeah, I got a fucking... Is that a V? No, that's an X. Got two right here. But I think someone was knocking at the door. God, I hope no one comes in and disturbs me. I'm trying to make a video here. Yeah, so they're gonna be themselves regardless of how people interpret their legacy. Politicians are just gonna blame them in order to get good ratings. But the fact that ICP still sticks to their guns, that inspires me to stay immune to the judgment of the world. I consider myself a Juggalo because it just means so much to be a Juggalo. Now, I've never been to an ICP show. I've only been down for a couple years. I've never been to a gathering. I've never had Fago. The only psychopathic merch I have is a Twisted shirt and an ICP pendant. But you know what? If being a Juggalo is all dependent on your merch, you could dress up any old schmo in a fucking ICP shirt and an ICP hat and say that he's a fucking Juggalo. Anyone can be a Juggalo regardless of what they wear. They can wear trench coats and biohazard goggles. They can wear anything. If all you need is fucking merch, then it's only skin deep. It's how you love the psychopathic artist and how you love other Juggalos. That's what makes you a Juggalo. You don't have to love everyone, though. If there's an artist on Psychopathic Records you're not too fond of, you can still be a Juggalo if you're not too fond of him, as long as you still respect him as an artist. If there's a Juggalo you know of who happens to be a fucking douchebag, you can still be a Juggalo even if you don't love him, as long as you still respect him for being a Juggalo. It's all about love and respect. As long as you have some love for the artists on Psychopathic Records and some love for other Juggalos, and you respect all the artists or Juggalos you don't love, you're a fucking Juggalo. It doesn't matter what religion you have. You can be a Christian Juggalo, a Jew Juggalo, a Muslim Juggalo, a Wiccan Juggalo, a Pagan Juggalo, a Satanist Juggalo, an Atheist Juggalo, etc. You don't have to believe in God just because ICP does. You're free to stick to your own guns and light your own fucking path. But now that I'm on the concept of religion, I want to rap a little bit about the Dark Carnival. Another prominent and substantial reason as to why I am a Juggalo is because I'm monumentally fascinated by the Dark Carnival mythology. Now, there's an assload of controversy going around from what I understand about whether or not Juggaloism is considered a religion. Well, if it were, you'd be calling yourself a Juggaloist, just like you call yourself a nihilist if you believed in nihilism, or an existentialist if you believed in existentialism, or an empiricist if you believed in empiricism. Now, no, I digress. As I mentioned before, I am enormously fascinated by the Dark Carnival mythology, but I don't believe in it by religion. You can hold fascination for something, but not hold it as a faith. I'm infinitely fascinated and inspired by the mythology of the Silmarillion, which is essentially the Bible for the Lord of the Rings, as it elucidates the origins of Middle-earth. But I do not worship Iluvatar, which is the deity that created Middle-earth. Insane Clown Posse glorified their own mythology, all inspired by the faith in God, which I assume is the Christian God, because as I mentioned before, there are way too many religions to isolate one God in assumption of any faith. Now, I'm not the most prominent expert on mythology, but from what I understand, after you die, your soul is summoned to the afterlife of the Dark Carnival, and there, you are faced with multiple tests of judgment as to whether or not you're worthy of ascending to heaven. Most of the Joker cards from the first deck of the Dark Carnival, are tests in and of themselves, accompanying their own entities to administer the tests. Carnival of Carnage represents all the ghettos that are ignored and left to suffer by the government and the upper classes, and moreover their retribution against the government and all the upper classes for their negligence towards the lower classes that reside in the ghettos. The Ringmaster is the overseer of the Carnival of Carnage, and he's created by your own sins. From what I understand, he's the leader of the Phantoms of the Dead. So if you're a doomed soul, his creatures will just drag your fucking soul straight to hell. The riddle box is, from what I understand, the first thing that you encounter after you die. Immediately after you die, you're summoned to a dark chamber wherein you see a jack-in-the-box on a fucking table. And when you turn the crank, your fate will be determined when the jack-in-the-box opens. If you're a doomed soul, a fog will disperse throughout the room, the floor will collapse beneath you, and you'll fall into hell. Whereas if you're a pure soul, you'll see an image of God and ascend into heaven safely. Malenko, the necromancer and illusionist, will fabricate all these illusions as an attempt to manipulate you. He'll create illusionary images of temptation to test whether or not your volition is strong enough to withstand temptation. And if you can be strong enough to resist temptation and transcend these illusions, you'll be allowed to ascend into heaven. Whereas if you allow temptation to manipulate you and corrupt you, your soul will be judged as unworthy of heaven, and you'll descend into fucking hell. Jack and Jake Jekyll offer another test, where they juggle these blood-covered balls. I said balls. Beavis and Butthead humor. Every sin that you commit will add another ball to the juggling, and if Jake ever drops one of the balls, you'll descend into fucking hell. You're essentially in a position where you have to witness Jake complete his entire juggling act without dropping the ball. And the less sins you committed, the easier it'll be for him to juggle the balls without dropping them. Of course, the last Joker's card represents death itself, separating into two CDs. That's 4. This is 2, which is Shangri-La and Hell's Pit. And after you examine all this, you come to realize that getting into Shangri-La is not the easiest fucking thing in the world. The Phantoms of the Ringmaster can drag you into hell, the Riddle Box can collapse the floor under you and bring you to hell, witnessing Jake Jekyll drop one of his fireballs can take you to hell, and Malenko can at least make shit easier, or harder for you, if he manipulates you with greed and other sins. He can make it easier for you to descend into hell, and harder for you to descend into heaven. It takes an exceptionally pure, righteous, and strong-willed soul to be able to pass these tests and prove that you're worthy of Shangri-La. As I professed before, I am tremendously fascinated by the mythology of the Dark Carnival, and it inspires me to live a life with a clean conscience and avoid committing iniquity to others. However, I do not follow it by religion. I do not believe that after you die, that you will be summoned to the dark room in which you will turn the crank of the riddle box, and I do not believe that I will explore the vastness of the Dark Carnival and encounter the remaining entities to the first deck of Joker cards after I die. I do not believe in Shangri-La or Hell, and I most certainly do not believe in God, quite simply because I refuse to believe in anything without empirical scientific evidence. If evidence isn't important, I could just say that the flying spaghetti monster exists and insist that you prove me the fuck wrong. If you want to believe that you will be brought to the Dark Carnival after you die, go right ahead. It makes no difference to me. I, on the other hand, do not believe in the Dark Carnival for the same reasons that I do not believe in God, Jesus, Satan, Yahweh, Allah, Thor, Zeus, Cthulhu, Luvatar, Mario, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Flying Spaghetti Monster. There's no proof. So you can be a Juggalo by religion if you wish, but I do not believe the only way to be a Juggalo is by religion. You can be a Catholic Juggalo, Protestant Juggalo, Baptist Juggalo, Lutheran Juggalo, Jewish Juggalo, Muslim Juggalo, Buddhist Juggalo, Pagan Juggalo, Satanist Juggalo, Levian Satanist Juggalo, or is it Levian, Agnostic Juggalo, Atheist Juggalo, or Juggalo by religion. If there are no objective qualities in belief, which there aren't, you can just make it however you want. It's all what you make it. I'm a Juggalo because I love psychopathic records and I love Juggalos. Unless you're a fucking dickhead who tries to change me or control me according to what you want. So to everyone watching, understand that I'm a Juggalo and I'm fucking proud of it, regardless of whether you condemn me or condone me for how I am as a person, or for how I look, or for how I dress, or for how these fucking biohazard goggles fit me, or how curly my hair is, whatever. I define myself as a Juggalo. Also, know that I'm not just a Juggalo. It's not the only thing I am. I'm not monochromatic. It's not just one thing, and my identity doesn't isolate to one aspect. I'm not one member of one solitary scene or community. I'm a Juggalo. I'm an atheist. I'm a metalhead. I'm straight edge. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist. I'm countless other things. It's not just one thing, and I'm not just one thing. You can't isolate one attribute of my identity and dismiss everything else as irrelevant or inadequate. So before you say that I'm just some kind of like white trash, fucking ignorant fuckhead, whatever the fuck you want to call me, I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'm my own fucking person. I'm part of anything that I want to be a part of. I'm a part of any scene or community where I feel like I belong. I make my own scene and my own fucking community. I make friends with any conceivable existent individual who I feel is worthy of my friendship. I bestow my acceptance and respect upon anyone who does the same for me. Anyone is welcome on my channel. Back straight on my forehead. God, I'm a fucking pink motherfucker. Yeah, so anyone is welcome on my channel. I'm just a big clusterfuck of a social deviant, and I encourage all social deviants to convene on my channel so they can find sanctuary from anyone in the world who tries to judge them, condemn them, or make any endeavor to change or control them. You're welcome on my fucking channel. You'll find no hatred from me. If you value your own identity, and you value the identity of others, you're a friend of mine and you're family to me. God damn it, this fucking fight. Good fucking coffee. Check out this coffee pot. It's so tiny and cute. I don't know, I just felt like showing that to you. But this is Supersonic. Thumbs up for Super fucking Sonic and Vader 1 and Vader 2. And thumbs up for my brother's toy fucking guns. Pow pow pow. Hair tie. When my hair gets long enough, I'll start putting my hair in a fucking hair tie, because my fucking hair is just way too fucking long. And this is my my DS. It's just a regular fucking DS. I got a ruby version and I got a white version inside here because I'm a fucking Pokemon fan for life. Pokemon master for life. So anyway guys, bleh. Thank you for watching. I am the fucking MassaCreature. Much motherfucking wicked clown love. Stick to your guns, light your own path, and peace the fuck out.